now we will hear from Karl Sigmund, about game theory.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, beneath all the social and political concerns, there lurk legal and moral issues, notions such as fairness, or commitment, or solidarity. And the mathematical tool for dealing with this is game theory. And of course, IIASA has a proud tradition in this field, going back to its very beginning. In evolutionary game theory, players need not be rational. Strategies are just types of behavior. Players encounter each other, engage according to their behavioral program, and obtain payoffs dependent on the frequencies of these strategies. We will assume that the players can copy other players' strategies, preferentially those of successful players. This is called social learning. From time to time, they also explore randomly chosen strategies. Evolutionary game theory can yield explanations for the emergence of social norms. And let us apply this to the free rider problem. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who was born 300 years ago, used the metaphor of the stag hunt to describe such social dilemmas. A joint hunt is needed to bring a stag down, but each hunter can be tempted, if a hare runs by, to go after the hare. If caught, it belongs to him alone. Of course, this threatens the whole enterprise, and the stag will escape. Nowadays, game theorists replace such metaphors by models. Let's consider just one example which can be realized in an economics lab. 4 players can independently decide how much of up to $20 each contributes to a common pool, knowing that the experimenter will then double its content and divide it equally among all 4 players, equally, irrespective of how much they contributed. Of course, if everyone contributes, then everyone gains $20. This is splendid. But if I don't contribute, while all 3 others do, then I gain $30. Even better? Well, of course, if this behavior spreads, nobody will contribute anything, and all players will have forfeited $20. They lose this through self-interest. Such experiments depend in fascinating ways on cultural background, but the result is roughly the same. Contributions slide down from one to round. I see that others who contribute less gain more, I imitate them. And so economic behavior leads straight into a social trap. Now, what to do against free riders? The obvious answer, punish them. Again, this can be implemented in a game lab. After each round of such a common pool game, players can impose sanctions on co-players, and this works. But imposing sanctions is costly. It costs time and energy, and the other guy can retaliate. So this raises a new problem. So sanctioning itself is a common good. Everyone profits from the increased contribution levels. Players are tempted to engage in what is called second-order free riding, which means contribute to the common pool, but do not contribute to the sanctions. Let others shoulder the costs of punishment. And we see again, if this behavior spreads, the threat of punishment vanishes, and the first-order free riders will take over. Or what to do? Suppose that the participation in the joint enterprise is not compulsory, but voluntary. Players who do not wish to engage in the risky joint enterprise can do something on their own which does not depend on what the others are doing. Non-participants neither contribute to the cost nor do they benefit from the outcome of the joint enterprise. The remaining strategies are to participate but not to contribute, to participate to contribute but not to the sanctions, or to participate to contribute and to punish. This is a pro-social behavior. And computer simulations of social learning show that after an initial phase, pro-social behavior dominates. Sometimes this regime can break down because of second-order free riding, but after a short transition, it emerges again. Interestingly, if the game is compulsory and players cannot abstain, this does not happen. Then free riders take over. The population gets caught in the social trap. So non-participation works as a catalyst for pro-social behavior. Needless to say, in more advanced civilizations, players do not take the punishment into their own hands. Self-justice is frowned upon. There exist institutions such as sheriffs or police to deal with free riders. Nobel Prize winner Elinor Ostrom, who used to visit IIASA quite a few times, but who sadly passed away this year, she studied such grassroots institutions in small-scale societies sharing common meadows or fishing grounds or irrigation ditches. And we can see that the result with rudimentary sanctioning institutions is the same as with self-justice. The option of abstaining greatly helps the emergence of sanctioning. Voluntary participation works much better than compulsory participation. As the ecologist Hardin said, what we need to overcome the tragedy of the commons is, I quote, mutual coercion, mutually agreed upon, which yields us straight to the social contract, of course. Here, the social contract emerges spontaneously through social learning, no need for higher authority or for deeper thinking. Jean-Jacques Rousseau famously said, man is born free and everywhere men are in chains. This is often mistranslated as but everywhere men are in chains. But as if the two half sentences were in opposition, but this need not be the case. It may be precisely because men can decide freely that they can fruitfully engage in coercing themselves to cooperation. The question is, of course, whether such models help in designing institutions for providing incentives toward international organizations and ratifications. Why, sure, we are not there yet, but clearly IIASA is superbly placed to attack this issue. Thank you.